Hi guys, welcome back to Mary's Vegan Table. Today we're going to make a small batch of sofrito. I'm going to need this to make my pasteles. So the ingredients here is I have a whole a whole bulb of garlic here. There's like 15 pieces or 13 pieces of garlic cloves here. Here we have a whole onion, medium size, somewhat of a large green pepper. This is a Recao leaf. Some people call it culantro. And here we have our cilantro leaves right here. I have two bunches of the cilantro and two bunches of the Recao leaves. The pepper, I use a whole green pepper. Sometimes, depending, if I make more, I use, a lot more than one green pepper. A lot of people use the hiduche pepper, which are small green pepper, but they're tiny, they're little green peppers. They're not hot. They taste just like regular green peppers, but you need so much more of them to make up just one of these. And to clean all the little seeds out of them is so time consuming. So rather than going through that, I just use regular sized green peppers. Okay, so I'm going to start just taking the peels off of the garlic, because they're going in the blender, so we don't have to chop them up. Just take the peels off. It's pretty easy. Just put your knife on top of it, give it a bash, and they come right out of the peel. See? Pretty simple. So I'm just going to finish up the rest of these garlics, and then we'll start on the onion and the pepper. Okay, so all the garlic is peeled, and now I'm just going to roughly chop up this onion. Just roughly chop them. They're going into the blender. If you have a high-speed blender, it's just a rough chop. If you don't have a high-speed blender, chop them up a little smaller. So here we have the onion and the garlic, and next I'm going to chop up the pepper. Okay, here's our pepper. We're going to roughly chop our pepper also. But first, we're going to get rid of the seeds. You notice that some supermarkets, if you buy the ones that are already made, some of them have the seeds in it. I don't really care for them. So if they don't really clean out the pepper. They leave a lot of the little seeds. And if you don't like it, if you don't mind, you can leave some seeds if you like. If not, just take them all out. Just clean your pepper, make sure it's nice and dry, split it in half, and just grab it by the little stem here, and kind of like push it in, and it comes right out. And grab the stuff from the inside, get yourself a bowl, and just empty all the seeds out into the bowl. And here you have it. It's empty and no seeds. Just make sure the seeds, as much as you can, is off of your chopping board, so that way not too many of them get into your sofrito mix. Okay. Next, we're going to start on the cilantro and the recao. Okay. So we're going to start with the cilantro. What I like to do is, I usually just cut it. So make sure these are washed and dried, because if they're too wet, your sofrito is going to come out very watery. So I just take a clean scissor and I just cut them right into the blender. I mean, you could chop them up if you like, but I choose to use the scissor method because I find it to be neater and much easier to get through the stems. And I use everything on the cilantro. I use the stems and everything. I don't cut the leaves off and throw away the stems. As easy as that. Okay. And even with the high speed blender, you're going to find that you're probably going to have to scrape it down every so often as it blends. Here are the Recao leaves. I just cut them in. I just fold them in half. Excuse me, I'm getting over the flu, guys. And cut these right in there, right into the blender. Okay. Okay, so I got this filled with some cilantro, fresh cilantro, and the Recao. Not all of it is in there yet. I have a lot in here, so I want to blend some of it down before I put the rest of the ingredients in. Okay, we got that blended down. Now we'll put in the rest of the cilantro and the Recao. It's good to get the stems cut little because it helps the blender to work better. It blends them up a lot easier. Well, if you put the cilantro in whole, it's gonna be like a task, like for the blender to get all the stems, long stems, blended up. So I'm gonna throw in, and I didn't show you, the peppers are roughly cut. So I cut each side of the pepper into quarters. Well, and we throw those in there. And I'll throw in a couple of the onions. Pulse it, guys, so that way, you know, they get to the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the rest of the onions and the garlic cloves, and I'm going to just throw them in there along with the rest of the pepper. And about a half a cup of olive oil. So let me blend this down a little. You'll notice when you put the olive oil in, it'll start to blend up a lot easier. Now, I know I said half a cup of olive oil, but I'm actually putting in just a quarter of a cup. My dog. Now we're just gonna push this all down and let it blend up a little more. And you leave it a little chunky. It's nice too when you put it in to your recipes. Here it is, it's all mixed up. So I'm going to take out the blade. Okay. Now you guys could put these in containers and freeze them. Or you could put them in little ice cube trays and just freeze them also in the ice cube trays and just use each cube as you need for the recipe what you're cooking. Me, I just like to put mine in containers and I just freeze them. I'll leave one in the refrigerator and the rest I leave in the freezer so they don't go bad. They stay good for a long time, especially in the freezer. And this is your fresh sofrito. And it smells amazing in here. And this tastes so good in beans and stews. Anything you like to put this in, it's just amazing. Don't add any salt or any other ingredients to it. Some people do also add tomatoes to the mix in the blender. I choose not to use the tomatoes. If you guys want to use tomatoes, you're free to use tomatoes. It's your sofrito. You use whatever you like. But this is a traditional sofrito. Some might say it's not because I use the big green peppers, not the little tiny ones. But they all taste the same. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And share these recipes with people if they're interested in. And this is already vegan, so this is good for anybody. People who aren't vegan even use this recipe. So thank you again. Have a great day.